Detroit is a very kind of open place for creativity. There's always people coming here to find out what's going on, or there's always people here doing new things that you may or may not know of, you know.
Motown would probably be the first and primary influential movement in Detroit. Then came along the Detroit Techno movement. You know, everyone was into it. All of your friends, or you just found it, or it found you actually.
Detroit Techno is about soul. It's about from deep inside yourself, and the same type of soul that has gone into blues. It's just that techno is done with electronic music or electronic instruments instead of guitars.
People ask like all the time, what is the Detroit sound? Well, the Detroit sound is just the story of your life. It's all the chaotic moments of your life, parking tickets, getting a boot on your car, coming out of a club, breaking up with girlfriends. And it's usually the chaos or the disaster that the element of beauty shines through the music. Radio was a significant factor in the early days of the Detroit Techno movement, particularly the Electrifying Mojo show. You would listen to that, and then DJs started to appear on the radio, such as Jeff Mills. Things just slowly but surely started to open up and led its way to having opportunities for yourself.
There's always that first listen, you know, whether it's from somebody who's 14 years old or 12 years old or 16 years old or whatever. And then when you hear it, you have to be part of it. When I heard Frequency 7 from Visage, I think that might have really hit it for me. It was just loud and brash, but it was all electronics, you know? I think that might have really said, okay, you know, this is it right here.
The music is pretty eclectic here. I mean, I don't know if you're familiar with Electrifying Mojo, who played, you know, things like Prince to like Kraftwerk, you know, to the B-52s, and I think that still kind of carried over into, you know, how I was consuming music. My generation came up with computers and everything, so it's something we're very familiar with, and it's great to have something that you're familiar with to utilize to get yourself out there. But on the other hand of that, it's making it seem a bit too easy, I guess, you know, and people are looking at the wrong aspects creatively, you know. So a lot of soul is lost, and a lot of context is lost in the art too, like understanding where things come from.
Hey, you hear this in Reason or Reactor or Ableton, it's all saw wave, sine wave, triangle wave, square wave. Well, that actually exists in hardware. That's where this actually came from.
I went to a local college here. They had an original MOOG, a D, and that's how I learned how to program. The instructor was very adamant about how he could recreate anything. He could recreate wind sounds, he could recreate brass sounds, he could recreate string sounds, whatever, with this D. And he helped me to visualize what was really possible, and it made it really necessary for me to have analog synths all the time.
Yeah, I had a mini MOOG actually.
Really?
Yeah, definitely. Well, my early memory of hearing a mini MOOG, honestly, because I was into rock music a lot, classic rock. So Jan Hammer, Chick Corea, you know, these guys would solo like crazy, and so a lot of rock musicians, you would hear like this really like smooth tone being soloed all the time, and you know the great filter that's in the MOOG always kind of shine through.
You look at all like the covers of like jazz records like Herbie Hancock and stuff I'm into, you know, or you know, you see Bernie Worrell and stuff playing, like, you know, you're like, that's a MOOG. Like that thing, that's what's making all those sounds. So I think those are like probably the first synthesizers I saw used live. And I see the keyboard flare on this synth, this stuff just like just going. I'm like, what is that? You get goosebumps. In Detroit, there's a lot of entrepreneurial kind of attitude about doing your own thing. I feel like a lot of us kind of have that same attitude, like we'll make it work, you know, ourselves. You know, I think that's what separates Detroit, just in general musically, from a lot of places. We just make things happen.